Hello and welcome to the table. I'm your host, Teen Wolf, and today we're going to be talking about all the cards that have just been spoiled for most of the sets coming out this year. But before we get into it, I gotta say this real quick. I'm not talking about Fallout. I'm not going to be talking about the pre-cons at all. They did drop in price, which means that they're probably not super impressive, which kind of scares me. But hey, the thing that matters is that if you want to buy them, you can go ahead and buy them. I would recommend probably just buying the singles that you do want, but either way, they don't seem to be that impressive because the prices are already dropping for it, so I'm just not even going to cover it. Now, let's talk about the first set that just got a bunch of new spoils. Outlaws of Thunder Junction, and the Secret Archives cards coming out alongside it. Those cards being Nexus of Beckoning, which is kind of unimpressive, and then the Sword of Wealth and Power, which is also kind of unimpressive. Now, it kind of gives protection from two really powerful card types, instants and sorceries, and a little buff, and allows you to copy an instant or sorcery that you cast if you deal damage. I don't know. It's kind of cool, but I just don't think it's going to be that good. But either way, looking at the main cards of the set, we have the new Tiny Bones, the little guy from Jumpstart 2022, I think. I don't know. Hell to Pay, which, whatever. But then we got the new Fiddlefip, which is introducing another new mechanic that we're never ever going to see again. Yay! Plot. The top card of your library has plot. The plot cost is equal to its mana cost. You can look at the top, and you may plot non-land cards from the top of your library. I don't know what the hell that means. I mean, maybe it means like you sack an amount of treasures in order to be able to cast it. I don't know. It makes no sense in my opinion. But new mechanic that we're never gonna see again. So love to see it. And then we got the new Oko, which I'm very glad to say that it is less powerful than his old version from Thrones of Eldrazi, but it is continuing the trend of mediocre planeswalkers. But he's a bit better than a lot of those because of his static ability, which a lot of new planeswalkers have gotten, and Oko says, at the beginning of combat on your turn, he becomes a copy of up to one target creature you control until the end of turn, except Oko, this copy of a creature, has hexproof. So that is very intriguing to me. I feel like there's got to be some kind of combo out there, maybe in standard, maybe even outside of standard, where this ability is really good, and you don't even have to use loyalty to activate it or whatever. So it just seems very good. The +1, however, is introducing another new mechanic. So you draw 2 cards. If you've committed a crime this turn, which I would assume is killing a creature, but I'm not exactly sure, you discard 1 card. Otherwise, you discard 2. The rest of the abilities don't really matter. The -1 makes a 3/3 elk. The -5 does make a copy of all other non-land permanents you control, which is super cool. But, I don't know. The main thing that I think makes this Oko appealing in any format is the static ability. Everything else, like the +1, draw 2, discard 2, that's fine. And the -1 makes a 3/3, which is cool, but it puts him down to 2 loyalty, and he costs 4 mana, so I don't know. He seems fine. He seems fine, but I'm very glad to see that he's not as busted as his predecessor, as his old, original self. But getting outside of that, we got the next set. Assassin's Creed. Oh, legendary creature. Legendary creature. Legendary creature. Legendary creature. Legendary creature. So we're continuing the train of just like banking off of Commander, and everything in like special guest sets are Commander sets pretty much. And oh wait, what's this? Sword of Feast and Famine? Oh my goodness, we're getting a new Sword of Feast and Famine. Woo, it's getting reprinted. Now, I am very glad to see that this is getting reprinted, and this probably means that all of the previous swords are getting reprinted, which is kind of quick. Maybe it's not reprinting all of them, because there are 2 that are currently legal and standard that are fairly new, so I don't know, maybe those won't get reprinted, but I don't know. This one at least is getting reprinted, and this is the best of them all. But yeah, I don't know. This, well, is the best of them all in Commander, I guess, which is the main format of the game pretty much at this point. But yeah, basically, this set, it's a smaller set than most. I think it's like gonna be 100 and something cards big, but still, it's continuing the trend of, hey, we're gonna bank off of Commander and making Commander sets and making cards that people will actually buy because Commander. But yeah, I mean, I don't dislike Commander at all, but it sucks to see that all of this, like a lot of stuff, just only cares about Commander stuff. And then we got Bloomburrow, which is continuing that trend of only caring about Commander stuff so far, and Lumra and Mabel. And these cards are fun. It's a bear. There's a giant bear that is big compared to the amount of lands you control, and it can get you more lands. And it's also got Vigilance and Reach, which means that it's a very good blocker and a good attacker. It's great. Mabel makes your mice bigger and can make equipment. What? But then we see this little mountain thing, which looks cool, but it separates two other cards from Mabel and Lumra. Those being Braya and Birk. But these cards, what that means is they're not in the main set. They're like in Jumpstart or the Secret Archives or whatever. And they don't have a different set symbol, so I'd assume that that just means that they're in the Jumpstart for this set, which is so great to see. And I wish Wizards just got rid of that at this point because, yeah. Anyways, Lumra, Mabel, cool. Rhea, Birk, cool. More legendary creatures, more Commander banking of stuff. It's great to see. And then we got the main spice. Modern Horizons 3. And, whoa, what's this? Emrakul's back? Emrakul's back? Yeah, so 12 mana, 12/12, legendary Eldrazi. Titan, technically. Whenever you cast a spell, gain control of all creatures target player controls. That seems fun. Now, granted, it's not as powerful as the Promised End, which takes control of an opponent's next turn, but still. And it's got flying and protection from spells and from other permanents that were cast this turn. So it gets protection for a turn, which is okay, cool. And then when it leaves the battlefield, sacrifice all creatures you control. So your opponent can't get their stuff back. That's great to see. And it's also got a madness cost, which is interesting, by paying 6 colorless mana. That is very intriguing because that means that madness is back, and that means that you can madness out an Emrakul, a 12/12. Now, granted, you don't get the cast effect, which is great. No, you do. Yeah, so, I don't know. I don't exactly know. The madness cost is going to actually be fairly hard to pull off because you have to spend 6, like, actual colorless mana. You can't just spend, like, generic mana on it. I don't know. It's interesting. This new Emrakul is very interesting. And, wait, another Eldrazi? What does this one do? It that heralds the end. 1 in a generic mana, so you can only get that mana by, like, tapping one of the, cards that's currently in Standard, a Pain Land. You can tap it for like colorless mana, right? You could use that mana to pay for the generic cost. But, or for the colorless cost, sorry. But it costs 2 mana for a 2/2 Eldrazi drone that says colorless spells you cast with mana value 7 or greater cost 1 less to cast. Oh, that's fun. It makes your big fat Eldrazi cost less mana. That's so fun to see. So Eldrazi are a big part of this set, and this thing exists making them cost less. Oh wait, there's something else. Other colorless creatures you control get +1/+1. Oh, that's nice. So while you're getting up to your big Eldrazi, you can give your other Eldrazi that are smaller a power and toughness buff. That's great. So Eldrazi are back, and it that heralds the end is actually, like, in my personal opinion, better than the new Emrakul. Now, granted, like, if you get the new Emrakul out, yeah, it's better than it that heralds the end, like, by a long shot, but I think that this card, it that heralds the end, just is way more impactful. And we got Flare of Cultivation, which I honestly think, like, is bad in comparison to a lot of other green, land getting stuff. Psychic Frog, it kind of reminds me of Psychotog, almost. Scurry of Gremlins. Energy counters are back. That's great to see. And, oh, reprints? We got the other 5 fetch lands? Let's go. Love to see that. And we got Lelia back. And we got Priest of Titania back. And these amazing looking lands. Oh, and a Waste, which is snow covered for some reason. I honestly don't know. But, then we got a Johnny. A Johnny's back. Huh, that's cool. And he's not complete anymore. Love to see that. So he can make cats, and when a cat dies... Oh, he's a cat commander now. That's great to see. But so basically, he enters, you make a cat. If one or more cats die, you transform him into a Johnny Nactal Avenger, which is a 3 loyalty planeswalker. The +2 puts a 1/1 counter on each cat you control. The 0 can make a cat. And you can deal damage if you control another red permanent to any target equal to the number of creatures you control. And in the -4, basically each opponent chooses an artifact, a creature, and an enchantment, and a planeswalker from among permanents they control, and everything else that they control gets sacrificed. So that's great. They get to keep their lands, but like most of their board's gonna be destroyed while yours stays intact. So that's fun. And plus, you can +2 him the turn that you transform him, and then the very next turn -4 him, and you'll still have 1 loyalty. So that honestly kind of makes him better than you would expect. So you can plus him, make your cat army a bit bigger, make it a bit harder for your opponents to kill a Johnny, and then the next turn, you get a pseudo board wipe. But yeah, that's cool. And one-sided. You don't get hurt at all. So that's also nice to see. But this set, honestly, is the one that I'm the most excited for, because, I mean, it's Modern Horizons 3. Like, this is going to be the best set of the year, easily. Bloomburrow looks kind of cool. Assassin's Creed is just more commander crap. And then the new Outlaws of Thunder Junction set. It exists. So anyways, with all that aside, hope that you enjoyed, everybody. This Modern Horizons 3 looks great. I would recommend like holding your hopes out for Bloomburrow, because I think that that set is actually going to be a good set. But I don't know. What do you think about this year so far? Do you think this is going to be a good year for Magic, or do you think it's going to kind of suck? I don't know. Leave a comment down below and tell me your thoughts. And with all that aside, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It's completely free. You won't regret it. And I'll see you all next time, everybody. Enjoy.